Good morning, Scott here. Hope you're well. So we had a good few moves yesterday in the markets. I hope you caught some of those. They worked out quite well in some cases. So there's quite a lot to get through today, and we'll get stuck straight into it. Now, if I haven't got time to go through yesterday's setups and how they played out because it just takes too much time. You want some homework, you want to get good at this, it's all down to practice. Go through my video yesterday. You can do this every day. And then just see how the setups played out and see, would you have taken them? Would you not? If not, why not? And to see how they played out and to see if it would have been profitable for you. So that's what this is all about, practice. Now, if you can practice without putting your money at risk, then that's a good way to start for certain. Okay, let's get straight into this. We have a lot to cover. Okay, stop the video. Right. So we'll do the usual way, high time frames first, and then we'll zoom into the lower time frames. So starting with Aussie CAD. Okay, yesterday we had a very bearish day, very strong bearish candle there, implying there's probably some downward pressure still. We'll look at the lower time frames to confirm that. And we have a level, these lows here, the level which you've got to be aware of, which you just touched yesterday. So we'll take that into consideration. We go to our lower time frames. This is the whole lot for our 5 minute and the 1 hour. Most of the information we look at is on the 1 hour, which is why I like to put the daily 50, this green line, the daily 20, this red line, the 4 hour 50, the thicker blue line, and the 1 hour 50, most important one, the thick red line, all on the same chart. So I can see pretty much everything on the one chart. Right, so we've got this breakdown, which it's already hit these lows. Do you have an Elliott wave here? It's a bit messy, isn't it? It started from here, wave 1, wave 2. This is wave 3, which is a bit of a mess. Wave 4 pullback and wave 5. So we may get a pullback and then play it down to the lows. So the quick 1-to-1 pip snatcher. Stop will be behind the R1. This is your R1 for the daily pivots. Here's the daily pivot. And S1 will be down here somewhere out the way. So try and get 1-to-1 before the lows. That's the key. And that may mean either bringing this stoppage a bit closer or entering just below the pivot. 1 hour 50 has got to catch up. Ideally, you want it to take the 1 hour 50. I'll just draw this in for education's sake. You want to see it come back. Just take the 1 hour 50 here somewhere and then give us an entry. And then play down to a profit there. So profit there at 1%. So that's Aussie CAD. There's quite a few pip snatches today, so I'll start getting faster as we go through these. Aussie Swiss. Right, again. Oh no, it's the same chart. Okay, Aussie Swiss. Well, it's not too dissimilar. So we had a bullish day on, that'll be, what's today, Wednesday. So bullish day on Monday, bearish day yesterday, room down to the lows. Looking at the 1 hour, we can see we've had a not great Elliott wave, but wave 1, wave 2. This has had the big wave 3 down, broken the 1 hour and the 4 hour 50. And that pulls back, that could give us a nice entry, the 382 of this run. Also, the 382 is this red line here, the red bar. That lines up well with the 1 hour 50 and 4 hour 50 and the daily pivot, which is all a nice confluence. So that pulls back here. We can either take it as a pip snatcher, 1-to-1, quick 1-to-1, that would work, or I'd prefer to go for a CBO because then we get a tighter stop on the 618 here. And take profit will be down either before S1 on the daily pivots or before the lows. Same kind of play, so that works out well either way. And there's 2% on offer there, so it does pull back. Being a CBO, it's a 4 hour strategy. So we need to make sure there is a 4-hour break and retest. This is the 1-hour chart. So we'll just zoom out here. Look at the 4-hour here. I'll zoom in. Okay, so we have pulled down on the 4-hour, and there's a nice break here and a retest here the next, I don't know, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 hours. That'll be a nice retest and good short trade there. So that's how that one comes in. It's looking nice. CAD Swiss. Similar, big run up on Monday, little pullback yesterday. We're in the day 20-50 zone. Is this enough deceleration yet, or we can still push higher? Let's look at the lower time frames to confirm, because it's not that clear here. Okay, this is the setup from yesterday. And it looks like it's already played out. Being CAD Swiss, zooming in on the 1-hour, being CAD Swiss, it's really for the UK session, Europe session, and the US session. And that did, the entry played out yesterday. So we had, this is the wave 1 on the 1-hour, wave 2 pullback, massive wave 3. Wave 4 pullback, this is one I talked about yesterday. And in this instance, we could have used an entry order here. We have 3 criteria for CBO. This is the CBO, both of the 4-hour 50 and the 1-hour 50. So 3 criteria. Has to meet the 382, and also either come back to the 1-hour 50 or the 4-hour 50. With the other 1-hour 50 or 4-hour 50 being in the same, well, before the stop, before our protection here behind the 618. So we've got that here, and it pulls back. We've got the 382 here, shifting along a little bit. 382 and the 1-hour 50 perfectly lined up, and the 4-hour 50 just behind it. As the 4-hour 50 is so close, you could even have an entry order there. But you might find that because the 2-minute 50 is probably a bit far behind, and the 5-minute 50 is probably lagging a bit because it's quite a sharp pullback. So you could use an entry order, and that'll get you in at the 382. So make sure both the 1-hour 50 and the 382 have been reached. And then entry order will be playing out quite nicely right now. I don't think it's going to come back again, but we'll see what happens with that one. Hopefully it'll play out well if you manage to get in that trade. CAD Yen. CAD Yen. Okay, this is interesting because we've got this resistance line here on the daily, which is just hit. It's just broken through the daily 50, the red line, just through the daily 20, the blue line, and it's just hit this resistance level. Is it significant? Well, there's not much price action at these levels. So is it significant? Well, kind of, maybe not. Just bear that in mind. But we definitely had deceleration. We had a very bullish day on Monday, bit of deceleration yesterday. Is it going to turn around and pull back down, or is it going to break up? Let's have a look at the hourly chart and see what we see. So I see here a very big wave 1, which is a bit, I don't really think a wave 1 shouldn't be that long. Anyway, wave is not always obvious and not always present. So here I'm looking at a possible pip snatcher long, because we do have positive momentum. And the pip snatcher long, we've broken through the daily 50, this green line, broke through here, come back and retested it. Now we're still heading long. One thing to check, I like to check, is the MACD on the 1-hour. Oh, big MACD divergence there. You see that? So we have this high to this high. This is high is higher. Second high is higher, but the high on the MACD is much lower. That implies to me that we're heading for lower prices, or could be. It still may play out the pip snatcher, but I wouldn't take that personally. I will demote that one because of this divergence. There's a good chance it'll come down and and give us a lower high, which will obviously mean you won't hit your profit target. So I'll demote that one. Okay. Let's get yen. So next one will be Euro Aussie. Okay, we've had a big run up, a big bullish day yesterday, hitting these this kind of level here, which is a resistance, but it's just broken through it. It's just broken through it. Is that level, should that level be higher? It doesn't really make sense there. It makes more sense down here, because that way we get touches here, 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 the body's here, and the body's here. So that to me seems like a better level, in which case we've just cleared it. What does the lower time frame give us? The 1 hour shows us a higher high from this one here, and maybe this quick pip snatch is on, quick 1-to-1, pull back to this level, to the pivot, and stop behind the S1. Take it up for 1-to-1 before these highs. That could work out well. Look at the RSI, the MACD again. Well, the MACD is showing levels or slightly higher. Not very convincing, but it's implying that it is, momentum is dying off a bit. But this was a very fast run up here. So yeah, not a perfect trade, but it would be on, depending if you're an aggressive trader, then that could be a possible 1-to-1 pip snatcher. Euro yen. Okay, bullish day yesterday. Bullish momentum is continuing for the euro, and a weakness for the yen. We've hit this level, so we're wary of that. We've already hit this this quite strong level here, which was the high touched here, 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 and here before we broke through briefly, broke back down and touched it again on the way up. So that's a pretty strong level. So pip snatcher again, a 1-to-1 with the pivot. As I said, we've got a pretty strong level here. If you copy this level across from here, just copy and paste. Hit it perfectly. So we've already hit that level. Is there anything on the MACD? Probably not. Oh well, there is actually. There's a big divergence there. You see that from this peak to this peak, going down, from this peak to this peak, going much higher. That's implying that we're going to get some kind of reversal soon. So again, I would be very cautious about taking that pip snatcher. We can also see the general trend, big acceleration up here, consolidation, and it's accelerated again. You often get accelerations before the end, like a final blow off, accelerates really hard, and then it messes around for a bit, goes sideways, and then it breaks down. So I will demote that one as well. That's why when you do your watch list, I suggest you do it first pass, go through again for a second pass, make sure it's good, and then have a third go. Just pick out the best ones, because by then your brain has adjusted to what the market's like, how many euros are looking good, how many yens are looking good, whether euro's strong or weak, and the yen and the pound, all the rest of it, and you can make better decisions. So it's good to go through it. So Euro Kiwi, next one. Oh, that's a bit of a up, down, up. Very strong day yesterday. Maybe some more bullish pressure still around for, I imagine, a quick pip snatcher. Yes, again. Now, caution on this one because we've got a lower high here. This high to this high. So pip snatcher, could it play out? Absolutely. This is probably the end of year selling. Yes, it was. So end of year or closing of positions, which meant buying up here, and then opening positions again on Monday and selling positions there. So is that a true higher high? Well, it is a higher high. So if you're an aggressive trader, you might want to take that as a quick 1-to-1. I personally wouldn't, so I did make that one as well. And Aussie, we're looking for the best of the best trades, right? We don't need to make big percentage gains every day. We need to be consistent, and and profitable. Okay, yesterday we had a bullish day, momentum to continue today probably. Is there any level here? There's a level up here, I believe, which is touched quite a lot, all the way back here. So I think that's a little bit higher. So we do have some room to the upside. On the 1 hour, get rid of that one now. That's significant. Maybe this one's more significant. I like to find trend lines that follow the 1 hour, 1 hour 50, because that's a good indication of a solid uptrend. If you've got a trend which is accelerated away from the 1 hour 50, then it's probably not sustainable and it could pull back at any time. Anything there? Not really. Almost. Yeah. So again, a quick one-to-one pip snatcher. Do we have a MACD on here? Oh dear, we do. Look at that. Very strong. From this run up here, again, it's working fine. But these ones here, it's quite a lot lower. So caution on that one. But if you're an aggressive trader, that could be a quick pip snatcher. Pound yen. Wow. So the pound's had lots of strength, and the yen's still looking pretty weak. So we had a massive run up here. Will that continue? The level I see is just a little bit higher, so there is room to the upside. Again, we'll just do just a pip snatcher. We don't want to jump on a trend. So I want to do that. I want to go back to the daily, see how overbought we are. And not too bad, not in the red yet, so there's room to the upside. On the 1 hour, so a quick one-to-one. Like I was saying about the trend line following the 1 hour 50, you can see this trend has not come back to the 1 hour 50 for a while. So that is a very aggressive trend. That could pull back at any time. MACD is suggesting, yeah, momentum is waning. We're getting, the last one is definitely lower. So again, I will not be jumping on that one, but it is possible. I don't think I'd recommend that one. Okay, dollar CAD. We're always looking for reasons to not take the trade. If you have simple rules, then, and it breaks one of those rules, then simple, don't take the trade. There's always another trade. All right, this one here, we had big run up, very overbought, and now it's had a couple of days of sell-off. Looking like the momentum may continue on dollar CAD. Continue to the downside, and what do we have here? We have, this is the trade I see now. I'm always looking for things that have played out before and think, did I miss this? Could I have played this better? So from this high here, sorry, this low here, from the highs to this low, this was yesterday, okay, in the evening for me, so I would have missed it anyway. But you can see there that we had a pullback pretty much to 382, not quite touching the 1 hour 50. But you could have jumped on that as a short trade. A bit aggressive because it didn't quite pull back enough. Your rules maybe it has to reach the 382. Fair enough, in case you would have missed the trade. So, would you put it down here? Maybe you could have done your fib from there. You still didn't reach the 1 hour 50, but there it did reach the sort of 382 pullback, which is this red line here. So you could have taken that trade. If you had, you'd be looking pretty good right now, because that would have been a short 7.5, because it's IBOC, because you've already reached the 4 hour 50, and you're going to have to trade through it. So a bit of caution on that, and back down to the daily 20. So 2.3% on offer, and you'd already be up 1.5+%. So IBOCs are more risky because you're trading through the 4 hour 50, but sometimes they can be very profitable. Now, this would have been a good IBOC because we have a lower high before the entry. From here to here, pull back, break down again. And probably on the 4 hour, have a look on the 4 hour. We've had a lower low on the 4 hour, which is nice before the pullback. See this low here, high, and then a lower low for the pullback. So that makes it a good IBOC. So that would have been a nice little trade if you jumped on that one. Okay, so we just clear that off because that's been and gone. And today maybe we'll get a pullback, looking at the fib from this same level down to the lows. 382 pullback lines up very nicely with the 1 hour 50 and 4 hour 50, and lines up with this line here being the R1. So that's good confidence for those three factors. If it does pull back, that could be a nice little entry. Stop behind the 618 and down to 20 or the R1. Okay, so this could be a nice one later on, much later. Got it again. So that triangle finally broke. You can just about see it on the daily. That's the hourly, much clearer. It's a trend line that's been there forever. Finally broke it, and as I said, when it breaks, it's going to break with a gusto, and it did. It shot down here straight past the 4 hour 50. Then it started pulling back, and it looks like it's on the way down again. So what do we have here then? I was looking at from the highs to the lows this morning. I'm recording this just after the Asia sessions open, or the Australia session opens. If you do get a complex pullback, so going from here, pull back to here, pull down here somewhere, and then pull back for an entry. Trade short all the way down there. Then that'll be nice entry. 382 line up with where the 1 hour 50 will be. Need to break the 4 hour 50 briefly, but that's still okay. Or could we do, if you do this one with a fib from this run here, which is consolidation and a breakthrough. This is the run that broke through the 4 hour 50. We could do that as a fib. Go into the lows. 382 now lines up very well with the 4 hour 50. So we've got a fib bit of conflict there. If it does pull back here, we can see the price pull back to potentially back to the 618 as it loads up and playing short. Now with this, if you did use this one, this fib here, it's still a valid trade, but it just means you need to be careful. Because this pull back to the 382 and the 4 hour 50, this will be a CVO, so your stop goes behind the 618, and then profit down to 30.20. So you see much better profit on this one, but you're much more at risk of if it does pull back to the 1 hour 50, and then even the 618 of this run. Actually, it's not that run, is it? We're using this fib. So it did pull back to the 618 this run. You see it'll take a stop out. So just be aware of that. What I would do in this case, what I will do probably if it does pull back, just clean this up a little bit, is wait for a pullback and then wait for confirmation, wait for some kind of spring loading on this 4 hour 50. Just go back a little bit, spring load a bit, and we should put that fib back in there. Maybe that point back to the 0.5 where the 1 hour 50 will be, and then don't trade it, don't enter it here, but enter on some kind of confirmation of the downtrend continuing, either the 2 minute 50 break, the 5 minute 50 break, or maybe even a 15-minute 50. This is your confirmation. So your entry may be just a little bit lower, maybe, but there's much less risk of you then pulling back and taking out your stop. So think about those things. It wasn't too confusing for you. There's quite a lot in there. Okay, Aussie, these are ones which may play out later. So have a quick look at them. Some of them are interesting. Aussie Kiwi, we've had this pullback, complex ABC pullback. It's reached the day 2050 zone. Is it ready to go higher now, or is it going to keep pulling back? Nothing on the MACD. The RSI has gone from overbought to almost back to the halfway line. So as you see in a strong uptrend, that's all you often get. So it could be going either way at this stage. Let's look at the lower time frames for some kind of help. Okay, so we see it's pulled back to the day 20. It's broken the 1 hour 50 and 4 hour 50. In fact, it is giving a short trade in here, pretty much nowish. You're trading back into this 2050 zone. So be careful of that. So we've got a stop here somewhere. Then you could get a trade short. Elliott wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maybe. Not that clear. But to me, that's very risky. Aussie Kiwi can be very difficult sometimes. So all I'm waiting for is for it to pull back above the 1 hour 50 and 4 hour 50. If it does break above it, that'll be a nice confirmation that it's finished doing what it's going to do. And then we can then trade it long. That's what I'm looking for there. US Swiss. Okay, overextended, but a very strong last few days, bull run. Just broken the daily 50, decelerating yesterday. Is that about a pullback? Well, I think so, but only briefly. So we look at the MACD on the 1 hour. You can see it's dropping off quite dramatically at the end. It was okay up to this point, and then it's been dropping off significantly, even though it's been drifting higher. That's implying that it's going to drop. Now, do we have a trade? The trade is short, back to the 4 hour 50. I suggest not, because the daily 50 is right here. We're trading through the daily 50. No good. So what I'm thinking is, let it pull back, patience, and when it does break up again, oh, come on, above the daily, so the 1 hour 50 and or the 4 hour 50 in a day or two, that could be a nice long trade. That'll need some patience. Missed that. Next one, euro pound. Okay, so we've had a few bearish days. It's reached the daily 50. Kind of a doji-ish candle yesterday, decision. Is it going to bounce up? Well, we need some proof. Not the best of deceleration, so we need to be cautious. Okay, you probably know a lot of my trend lines. Here's a nice trend line. 1, 2, 3, 3 touches, broke through yesterday, came back and retested it perfectly, and since then it's been going sideways. The hourly 50 is just here. So if we do get a break above the hourly 50 and a pullback, just break up here to here somewhere, pullback, give an entry, that's the 4 hour 50. That could be a nice little trade. And looking back at the daily, so potentially we could be looking for, the pound is looking strong at the moment, so be cautious. The euro is trying to get some strength back. So we need to see how that plays. I wouldn't want to take that too far. In theory, if you get a 4 hour 50 break, further down the line, and we get a retest of the 4 hour 50, that'd be pretty good proof that we've got more strength in the euro or weakness in the pound, and then we can take this up to the highs. That'd be a nice one. So pound CAD, what we're seeing here. Again, the pound is decelerating. It's had a big run up, slowed down. The trend, it's already broken the trend line, as far as I can tell. And vote comes back and retested it on the daily 50, and then it seems to be going up again. So what am I looking for here? Okay, on the hourly chart, let's do this again. Look at the MACD. All these higher, higher, higher. We're getting lower, lower, lower. It's implying that it's losing momentum. So we could have a trade here short if it breaks the 1 hour 50. We've got the daily 50 here, so we don't really want to trade through that. It's not going to be the best trade. Well, there's 2% there, which is nothing to be sniffed at, but we'll see what happens, how long it takes to break through the hourly 50. And then if it does come down, pull back, that could give a nice little short trade. And then decide whether it wants to break through the daily 50 and keep on going down, or whether it'll turn around and go back to highs again. So we go to the pound Swiss, not dissimilar. Not very good deceleration, but it stalled yesterday at the daily 50. Nice little doji. So it's got to make its mind up. Is it going up? Is it going down? If it goes up, there's no real trade there because the 1 hour 50 is behind us still. If it goes down, then break the 1 hour 50 could give us a quick trade down to the 4 hour 50. The daily 20 is right here where price action is at the moment. So that could be something that lines up later today if it does break down. Last one we'll have a quick look at is pound USD. Again, big pound run up, pretty much touching the daily 50, or almost touching it, almost there. Not the best of deceleration. Got a nice trend line. We'll see a break of that trend line on the hourly 50. MACD from here to here is obviously a MACD divergence. From there to there, from here to here. Here it's much, much higher than price action, but lower. So it looks like it's probably going to turn around, and we get confirmation of that break of the trend line, hourly 50. We can trade that short to the 4 hour 50. Alrighty. That's a mouthful. Right, good stuff. I'll start that this time before I do that. Come on. Right. My back. Where's my camera gone? Okay. So my camera stopped. Okay, well, so that's it for me. Hopefully you've got some education from that. You see how all the setups work, and you get some ideas of what I'm looking for with my trades. As I said, homework, if you want some, is to go back through previous videos, see what I looked at and see how they played out in real life, and see if you would have entered them and if you wouldn't have, for whatever reason. So if you found it useful, I will catch up with you tomorrow, same kind of time. All the best in the markets. I'll speak to you soon. Okay, take care.